it was, yeah, I had to go and confront my dad and talk to him. Because I blame myself. I blame myself. Part of me felt bad for the way my dad treated me, and this is very common in psychology. When someone abuses you, you blame yourself, you think you're not worth anything, you're guilty, you're ashamed, and you kind of have a loyalty towards someone who abused you. Even though it doesn't make sense, it would make sense. So I went and confronted my dad. I was frightened, but the interesting thing was when I got there I had no fear, and I started to realise there's a pattern here. When I'm honest, the fear goes away. And really that's what my teaching was always about. Even when I was teaching men pickup, I was always saying be honest, be yourself. And I'm very grateful. I have lots of students now saying, but yeah, Johnny, when I look back at your old stuff, you was an honest person. You never struck me as someone who's dishonest. Yeah, I was honest, but I wasn't fully honest. Because back in my life, I was struggling. And the level of honesty I was teaching I was at, compared to someone who's completely crooked, that seems honest. But then when you meet people that are more honest, you realise that there's different levels of integrity and honesty. And I wanted to live my life to the highest level of integrity that I could. And this is not coming from ego. This is love. I want love and honesty in my life. And that's what I had with my nan, is that we had a great relationship. It doesn't mean that you can't get angry when you're honest, or you can't get jealous, or you can't get upset. But it's a complete different state of consciousness. And I just thought, I was getting flashbacks to the way I was treating people and how my friendships were, and I just thought, I'm a scumbag. I know that's a hard language to use, but I'm a scumbag, and I felt the same way towards them. And I thought, I have to change this, because I can't deal with all this guilt and all this trickery. One day being friendly, and I slowly started to change my life. This was intuitive, and it happened gradually. I remember going on a holiday, had a great time with Junior. I'm sure Junior wouldn't mind me saying his name in this video. I'm talking about Junior in good light. It was one of the best times I had, because I got to connect with a man, no homo. And we went out, and I remember approaching women, but I didn't want to do it no more. And it's like, I remember thinking to myself, am I going mad? Am I getting soft because I don't want to have sex with women anymore? And it was actually because I became secure. So it was backwards. It's like, oh, okay, this is making sense now. So because I'm becoming more secure, because the trauma's healing with my dad, because I'm taking my mask off, all those, what's the name in psychology? My mind's going, so I'm getting passionate. All those sub-personalities or protective behaviours, they were falling off. So of course, if you've got separate personalities and some of them are insecure and pretending they're secure and going out and tricking women into bed, when you start loving yourself, you don't need that no more. And thank God I don't need it. That doesn't mean I don't walk down the street, or I don't sit at home, because I love women, and it's a silly thing to say, but I love women, I love sex, but not cheating on anyone. And I can't speak for everyone, but I think when you've come from a place of abuse, you've got to be more honest than the average person, because trust is always going to be an issue for you. And I realised, just like anything, and it's interesting because the same person who abused me, my dad, taught me so many good lessons. And he said to me, respect and trust needs to be earned. So I had to earn my own self-respect. I had to earn my own self-trust before I could trust anyone. And that's when I took a break from teaching, and I remember saying to Jeff, I can't teach this no more. And he said, well, don't teach it then. And I said, that's why I've come to you, because you're honest, and I know I've got a lot to offer. I know I can help people, and I don't want to be teaching people to go out and to cheat and trick women into bed, because it's likely that the people that come to me have got the same issue I had, social anxiety and childhood trauma. And I know how men are. A lot of men won't admit it until one man admits it, and this is what helped me to come forward because of Jeff. Because I went on the internet, and there's all these great teachers, but a lot of people, they don't really tell the full truth. They just talk about the glamorous bits. That would have never made me come forward. Now, after I went through this nightmare, I started to feel really good about myself. I started to feel really optimistic, especially after I spoke to my dad, because I thought, I'm not being a cheat and a liar no more. Even whatever my dad does, or what my family or friends do, I just have to worry about what I'm doing. So I went to him, spoke to him in his face, told him how I felt. I didn't lose my temper. I was kind. I was probably a bit calmer than I am now. And he couldn't say nothing because I told him the truth. I said, you damaged me when I was younger. And he said, huh? What do you mean? I said, you damaged me, you bullied me, and you know you did. You bullied me all my life, and you made me frightened of men, and you made me a dishonest person. I went out and had sex with lots of different women, because when I was younger, you accused me of being homosexual or gay, whatever, and you took the piss out of me, and it made me angry, and it made me want to go out and prove myself, and I was seeking your approval, and I don't need it anymore. But I've forgiven you, and I love you, but I'm not going to have a relationship based on fear with you. So if it's going to be based on fear, you won't hear from me again. Couldn't really say much. I've got to give him credit, he handled it well. And then I thought to myself, of course he handled it well, because I brought God. I pray to God. I didn't need to go to the church, because I tried going to the church, and I noticed in the church that there's a lot of people that are not honest as well. There's so much hypocrisy. I had to make sure to get the hypocrisy out of myself and gradually start doing this and take responsibility. Boy, was it a wake-up call. Of course, I lost all my friends, but they were never friends in the first place, because it was all built off dishonest relationships wearing a mask. And I felt really bad. Sometimes it made me cry, because I just thought of the good memories, but I couldn't live like this no more. And I just thought to myself, there's got to be light at the end of the tunnel. I've got to have gone through this for a reason. I was close to suicide when I was 25, and something in me said, no, I'm not going to go out like that. I'm not going out like that, killing myself and being in the papers or in the news, another victim. No, I'm going to give life one more shot. If I've got such strong faith in God, then I'll keep going. And of course, things started to slowly work out. Of course, people attack you because they're not used to you being assertive. They're not used to you actually being nice and telling the truth. They can't handle it. But it all works out in the end. And the same with women. I started to be more straight, and I noticed the women falling off. And then I realised it's true what Jeff said. I don't have to worry about trusting you, trusting her. Just have to worry about trusting yourself. And then I heard so many of the other spiritual teachers talking about it, and of course we know all this already, it's all intuitive, but it's having the courage to do it. It's easy to talk about it, but to actually do it takes massive courage. So that's why I made this video, because I knew that this is going to help a lot of people. I've been working with a couple of people lately. I've been working particularly with a girl who's lovely, and she's been through something very similar, and she's doing amazing. And the only way I can help people is to tell the truth, and to share my experience and what I went through and how I overcome this. And I continue to heal and overcome this, because it's probably going to be a lifelong process, but it's got so much easier. And I've said in my videos before, this is important to me, and it's important for people that follow me, so they know that honesty works. I know who I am. And of course I get scared sometimes, I'm a human being, but it's not like it was before. And I'm very, it's really amusing, because when you're awake, you just notice it. And I don't mean this to be judgmental. I remember loads of times I could just see it. I'd meet someone, and that's what the awakening does. And it's quite painful when you first awaken, and all people that have had this experience have said similar, because you see so much beauty in people, but you also see when people are lying and when they're wearing a mask. And I can tell you, a lot of people in our society are asleep wearing a mask, and they're living their whole life being dishonest, manipulating friends, family, and not aware of it. And you can't blame people, because most of this is being taught in our society, and this was taught in my area growing up. And it's not a class thing, because it's not a class problem, it's a human thing. So I had to unlearn all this. There was nothing to learn. That's what my teaching is about, helping people to actually unlearn these negative behaviors and to heal. And the healing's gradual. So this is my truth, this is my updated truth. So this would explain why I don't put infill videos out anymore, and I'm never going to be putting them out again. I don't go out and I don't cheat people, because I've lived that life. I've done it, guys. I've tried all that alpha male stuff, and it leads you to not trusting anyone. And I thought about it on the way when I was making this video. This came to me: if a man hasn't got trust in his life, he's got nothing. It's all good and well being successful, making money, becoming powerful in the world, or whatever you're aiming to do. But if you don't trust yourself, and you don't trust your own friends, and you don't trust your own reflection in the mirror, life isn't really worth it. Of course, if you want to live that way, good luck to you. But I chose to opt out. And I started to work on this congruency. And of course you make mistakes, only human, but you just got the awareness, and you make fewer mistakes. And it makes life beautiful. It makes you realize that everyone's the same. But this takes a lot of courage. So I also, I understand why people lie as well in life, why people cheat and hide, because it is hard. It is hard if you've lived your life for many years and your relationships are like that. You get so used to it, you just stop to question it. But in the background, and that's where the depression comes from. My depression was coming from, it wasn't coming from a lack of women. I had loads of women. And I'll say this not from ego, to tell the truth. I got so good at it. I got so good at going out, sneaking out for 5-6 hours, getting a girl, taking her to a hotel, having sex, the next one going home. I did all that stuff, and it got me nowhere. But to some extent, it got me on the right path. But I suppose it serves me right. It's a typical schoolboy lesson. You know, when you're younger in school, and maybe you break into someone's locker and you steal their stuff, and you feel cool and people laugh, or you bully that kid, the soft kid, but it all comes back to hit you in the face, because a few years later he grows up, you bump into him and he's stronger. That didn't happen to me, but similar experiences have happened to me. So I stopped doing all that. I stopped bullying people, but socially I got stronger. And I really feel as human beings, we need integrity to protect us. We need God. If you don't believe in God, you need ethics. Because the reality is, human beings are wonderful, but there's lots of human beings that don't trust themselves, and people who don't trust themselves are dangerous and vulnerable. And that's why I go to great lengths to put these videos out, and to do the very best I can when I work with people, to help them to help themselves and build a relationship and trust themselves. It's not life-changing, it's life-saving. So I'm sure, excuse me, this would give you some clarity on all the recent videos. And I know all the sort of videos it's dark, it's not comfortable, it's a little bit depressing, it's hard to look at, but this is always the route that seems to work. The easy ride, that's always the way out, the sugar highs. But you don't stay here. So now my whole life is not spent how it used to be, running around, being paranoid, having anxiety. Most days I feel really relaxed. But there's nothing worse, guys or women, than living your whole life and going home and closing your door and knowing that you're a liar, you're a cheat. And I just, no man, I'm done with it. Finished, closing the door on it. And it was difficult for me initially 2 years ago. It was painfully difficult, to be really honest, and start trusting people and being open in all areas of your life. But so rewarding, the connections are so much better. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm going to leave you to figure it out for yourself. And I'm not judging anyone. I wasn't judging friends and family. I'm just saying how it was. That was the truth. I hope this video won't hurt any of my family putting out, but I need to get this off. I owe this to myself, because I was in the hell mentally. I was suffering for years. I was too proud. That's the problem with men, and I've had that for many years. It's a weakness. I was too proud and want everyone to see how strong I was, but I already proved that. And it doesn't make a difference, because you'll never get the respect, and violence doesn't do that. I got a first-class honours degree in that, growing up in a violent area, being a violent person, being in untold street fights, and it didn't lead to anything good. It just breeds more fear and more distrust. And this is something I learned, that you can handle situations just by talking, what I'm doing now. This was a skill I struggled with all my life. It was a social anxiety. I didn't really have a physical anxiety of fighting, because I was good at that. And unconsciously, I'm ramming on a bit here. That's why I went down to the boxing gym. It was easier to put gloves on and to just smash the shit out of each other. I hated speaking. I didn't like speaking. You relate to that if you had social anxiety, because it exposed me. I didn't like the sound of my own voice. I didn't like conversations with people, and I didn't like being around people, period. For many years, it just you know, it was so difficult, man. God, oh boy. I feel like I'm in a therapy house doing these videos. But it's worth it. And I knew the truth would be hard hitting. I knew one day that the truth would be, for me to make this change, I'd have to lose all my friends. There was no other way I could do it. And I'm just sharing this with you. I tried everything. I tried to talk to them. I tried to be apologetic. I tried to apologise for changing. I tried to encourage people to come along with me. I tried giving people money. I thought, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not giving people money so they won't attack me or they'll keep friendships with me, because that's not a proper friendship. A real friend would be happy for you. So that's it. So this is a positive message. This is probably up there one of the best videos I did. So this is really the essence of what I learned with living 17 years, and especially the previous years going out being a seducer. That really taught me a lot about human psychology and relationships. And if relationships are not based on honesty and love, it's just all games. And so many people in our society are playing this game. They're just tricking one another all the time, and people know they're doing it. That is what is so. And I just had a session with Jeff today actually, and he said, and I can't remember where the source came from. He said there was a man, and he got a realization one day. He was in a bookshop, or I can't remember where he was, and he realized in that moment that everyone was wearing a mask, but that's not where it stops. He had the realization that everyone knew that they were wearing a mask. I went cold. I've gone cold again when he told me that, because that's how I felt. Everyone around me was wearing a mask. They knew they was wearing a mask. They was aware of it. That's what's even more hurtful. So, and I've thought about this further. I suppose in a sense we all wear a mask. We're all actors, but I wanted to start acting in a role that I actually enjoyed. Not a role that was forced out of fear. So I've got to behave a certain way to kiss my dad's ass, please him, to please everyone else, and I can't have my own opinion, and I've basically got to be dishonest to maintain friendships, because if I be honest, people are going to get offended. Oh, you're weird, oh, you're spiritual, you don't want to drink no more, you don't want to take drugs, or you don't want to be racist, or you don't want to bully people. No, I don't want to do any of that. That's not who I am. Thank you very much. So that's the exact realization I got over time. I got it. I had it many times. I got it. Now I'm going to leave it here. If you want to look more into waking up spiritually, check out Carl Jung. Check out a video by Alan Watts called Waking Up, and he talks. It talks about this. So I know if you're going through this experience now, because some of my students are going through this awakening that I've been working with, and it's actually petrifying. A lot of spirituality gets glamorized. We talk a lot about love, and it is about love, but to get to love, most people have got to go through their own hells, their own nightmares that they've built up. And waking up is scary. It's this deeper awareness of really seeing things for how they are, and then maybe it continues, and then a few more years we'll wake up more and more. But it's also very beautiful, and it's actually very worth it. Otherwise I wouldn't waste my time doing this video. This would be too uncomfortable. So selfishly, this video has helped me a lot. I feel really good about putting this out today. This is cleared up any last bit of doubt, any bits of me that I feel that I was hiding, because I get a lot of great support and I appreciate it, but I've got a strong inner monologue, and I suppose that's what makes me be a good teacher. It helps me to empathize with people and keep this work at this level. But I'm only human as well. I have to be kind to myself. So this is really the last batch of my confession, really. Now it's all onwards and upwards. So I'll just say it once again, being honest is not just about walking up and down the street or going to social events and being a little bit more open to people. It's actually how you live your life, because how you live your life forms the mask you wear, or the mask that you don't wear. So just think about what that guy said. He suddenly had a realization that he was wearing a mask, everyone around him was wearing a mask, but even worse, they all knew that they're wearing a mask. They're all playing one another. I certainly don't want to live life like that, and that's not the reality I attract. So as I say, be careful. My mind's completely gone blank now. This is tiring me, this video. I said, yeah, we attract what we are, so be careful what you become. I love you guys. I hope this is going to help someone who's been through childhood trauma and social anxiety. It will help you to straighten out, fix the relationship with the person who's abused you, or just to clean you up. I can't even get the words out. This emotional video. So that's really the last hurdle to me overcoming my social anxiety and straightening my life out. And it's just been it's been the most, it's been a blessing. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.